Hello everyone, my name is Naisha Brown and welcome back to my channel, Caffeinated Nooks. So I am very proud of myself. I read quite a few books for the month of July. I am so excited to show you guys books. It's not on like the level that some of y'all YouTubers be on, but I did read like 5-6 books, which is more than I've been reading in the previous months because I've been a little bit depressed and I've been in a little bit of a reading slump. So we got some books for y'all. I wanted to get this video out for you guys so I could start doing my August reading. It's currently July 29th, I believe, so I have about 2 more days to finish one more book, and then the book I'm going to show you guys in the end is the book that I'm currently reading. With that being said, let us get straight into the video and start on with the books because we want to get this done. So I'm going to try to go in the order that I read them for you guys. So let's go with the first book that I finished in the month of July, and that is Gallant by V.E. Schwab. One thing about me is I absolutely love V.E. Schwab. Like, she's one of my favorite authors, and this was definitely a V.E. Schwab month. I love her and I've read like 3 of her books this month, so this is the first book. Basically, I'm gonna give you guys my own synopsis because I did read it. It's not like my book haul. Okay, so there's this girl, Olivia. She's basically in like an orphanage, girls home type of thing. Her mom left her there when she was a baby. I'm not sure the exact age that her mom left her there, but she was left there nonetheless, and she can see these ghouls. She is basically mute. She can't really speak. It's basically following her throughout her journey of not knowing where her place is and not knowing where she belongs. So she gets a letter one day that beckons her to her home, which is the home that her mother grew up in. She's a prior, and the priors all lived in this one place. The whole story behind what happened with her mom or whatever, but she goes. A lot of stuff is happening to her throughout her time there, and she's warned several times to go back where she came from. Go back to the girls' home, leave here, it doesn't matter where you go. You ain't gotta go home, but you gotta get the hell up out of here. Her mom had this journal that she left to Olivia, and her mom warns her in her journal to stay away from Gallant, which is where the priors reside. It's a lot going on in this book. I can't say it was the best book that I've read, but it was definitely a good read. It was a little different than my normal books. I think a lot of times V.E. Schwab does stagger away from the romance aspect of books, because this had absolutely no, well, not absolutely no romance. We kind of saw the romance happen between Olivia's mother and father, but in general, like, there wasn't any romance current in the timeline, and I was like, when is the romance gonna happen? Because I love me a little romance. Like in the Monsters of Verity series, there was a little bit of romance. You could see a little fizzle, little, you know what I mean? It wasn't like the main premise of the book. It wasn't the main focus, but it was there. It was sprinkled on, just like a little sprinkle. I loved it. This book didn't have that, and I was kind of disappointed. I was like, please let it be a little tiny bit of romance. Like, I was waiting, but it was none. I think that reading so many romance books recently has gotten, not so many, I've only read like 2, but it's really gotten me to the point where I'm like, there's romance in every book. And there's not, because V.E. Schwab is very different than our normal author. So it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it like a 3.7. You guys can see, I don't know if you guys can see, but I certainly tabbed it up, and I did do my highlighting and my annotating. So I do enjoy it. If I don't annotate in the book, I am not feeling it. V.E. Schwab got the annotation. So the next book that I read this month is The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. I read the first book, and then I was waiting for the other book, so I read some books in between, and then I didn't end up getting to the second and third book until the end. So right now I'm on the second book, but I read it and I enjoyed it. It was such a good book. It was very much so a break from my normal like heavy fantasy, sci-fi, like dark content, and I really did enjoy it. It was a romance novel, obviously, but it was so lighthearted and it was so simplistic that I could get through it so easily, and I enjoyed it. And then I also read it because everybody else was reading it, but I'm really happy that I got to it. Basically, what's happening in this book, there's 2 brothers, okay, the Fishers, Conrad and Jeremiah, and Belly is in love with Conrad. Conrad and Jeremiah's mother, Susanna, is like, you're gonna end up with one of my kids. Like, it's destiny, it's fate. And she really likes Conrad. Like, she is in love with Conrad. Like, so much is going on. Like, everybody thought of her as a kid, but she's kind of coming into the summer as more of like a teenager, like a young lady. And so she's dealing with dating other guys such as Kim and Jeremiah, who may or may not have feelings for her, and we all know how that goes because everybody is spoiling it. But she is conflicted, and you know, she's just getting all this male attention all of a sudden, which obviously happens as you mature and you get older. That's just life, and it's fun to just see her journey and her thought process. Obviously sometimes I think she's extremely selfish, and I think she needs to calm it down, and I think sometimes she is childish, but I think the fact that they call her childish is what makes her even more childish, because it's like, dude, like I'm not a kid anymore. And she's worked so hard, and she's always wanted to be in with the group of like her brother Steve, Jeremiah, and Conrad. They were always like a trio, and she always wanted to be in that, but she was the only girl, so they kind of just like push her to the side. So now she's kind of entering that, and I love it. I really enjoyed it. I cannot wait to watch the actual Amazon Prime, because I was like, I'm gonna read the books first and then watch it, and hopefully I watch it soon. But it took me like a day. Definitely a fun read. I really enjoyed it, and I think you guys should read it if you can. It's a really good summer book. I can't really speak to the whole series because I haven't really read the whole series in general, but and I really did enjoy it, and I'm gonna give this a 4 stars just because it was something different, something more lighthearted than what I just previously read, which was a V.E. Schwab book. You know, her theme is kind of morally gray, kind of a little bit dark at times. So reading it and getting like a breath of fresh air from that, it was super fun. I really enjoyed it, and I rated it like a 3.5 stars. It was really good. Now let's see how book 2 goes. But the next book that I read while waiting for the series, because I ordered it, I think I ordered it on a Friday. I was supposed to get it on a Tuesday, and so I had ample time to read other books, and I read this next, and this is The Love Hypothesis. If you guys want me to do a full review on this book, let me know, because I really did enjoy this book. It was so different. It had me like, ah! It was like, it had me like, girl, like, ah, excuse my ashy hands, like my hands are ashy, just let me be, because I keep washing my hands. But I really enjoyed it. Obviously it had a little spice in it, and for someone who has, I don't really read spice, like I don't read spice, I don't read smut, I don't read any spicy stuff, I don't read that, because like a lot of the books that I read don't have it in it, and I'm fine with that. So when I read chapter, I think it's chapter 16, I was like, I didn't know how to feel, but it was a good moment. It was an experience nonetheless. So basically we have Olive, and she's basically a PhD student, and then we have Adam, and he is basically a professor, and he's trying to get some grant funding because the school withheld it or whatever. So her friend likes a dude that she kind of talked to but really didn't. It was like a little moment. She wants her friend to be happy, and she tells her friend like, yeah, I'm gonna be on a date, just to let her friend know that she's moved on, so her friend can start dating old dude, because she just wants her to be happy. She didn't really have feelings for him or whatever, but she ends up going to like the lab, and the professor Adam is there, and she kisses him because she sees her friend, and she panics, and she's like, okay, I have to make it believable. So she just kisses him, a random guy. She hasn't met him before. When she's finished kissing him, she like sees who it is, she's panicking, and they go on this whole thing for fake dating. I love me a good fake dating. I haven't read many fake dating books, but I always love like the idea of it. And so they go through this, and they end up like, you know, catching real feelings for each other. It's a really good book. I recommend it. It's definitely a 4-star. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. It's definitely like a 4-star for the genre that is not my usual genre. I really enjoyed it. It was good. I liked it. I think you guys should read it, and if you guys would like a review on it, let me know down in the comment section. I will do a review for you guys. Books are a series, and we have Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I told you I was reading her like wildfire, and this is about Mr. Victor Vale, and it kind of goes between the past and the present. She does it so well, and it's basically like how he became an EOS and his journey, as well as like his ex-best friend Eli Cardell, I don't know. He is killing other EOs because he thinks they are like a disgrace. He thinks that God did not mean for this to happen, so he's correcting it. It kind of goes back and forth of like them going on a hunt for each other. Like Victor's like, I'm gonna get you back because you did some things to me, and Eli's like, I'm gonna kill you because you are an abomination, which is kind of weird because Eli is extremely hypocritical because he is an EO as well. So I'm like, it's not making sense. It's just not, it's not clicking right. Really enjoyed it. 5 star. 5 star. I love Victor Vale with every single vein of my existence, with all my heart. That's my man. And if you follow me on TikTok, I love that man. And then the second book in the series, and this is supposed to be a trilogy, but right now it's a duology. It's Vengeful by V.E. Schwab as well, and you can see I tabbed the hell out this book. I just finished reading this book yesterday. It took me quite a while to read it because it was a little bit slower in terms of everything happening than the first book, and it was frustrating me because of everything that was happening with Victor. I finished it and I love it. I loved it. It was a little bit slower in terms of everything going on than the first book, because the first book I felt was a little bit more paced, like quickly, but still nonetheless it was a really good book. I love what happened to Eli and Victor. And this one also gives us a new perspective on some new characters like Miss Marcella Riggs and what happened to her. And to be honest, if I was in her predicament and that happened to me, I would have probably done the same thing. Same period. I'm not mad at her one bit, to be honest. We get a little bit of Eli's backstory, which made me feel a little bit bad for him, but then I was like, you're still a hypocritical, psychotic asshole, and I'm correct when I say that. But I understand why he did what he did to his father. Read it and find out. It was so good. I really enjoyed it, and I think that you guys would also enjoy it. Oh my god, like so much happened in this book. And Victor had to deal with all of it. My guy was out here struggling. I love him with all my heart, but he was. And then there was a new organization, EON, which is like, because EO stands for extraordinary, it was like extraordinary neutralization or something like that, where they basically capture EOs and imprison them or kill them in the worst case scenario. And I really do admire Stell, because he really did everything in his power to make sure that he collected these EOs alive, and he kind of thought of them as people as opposed to a lot of the other characters who weren't EOs, who considered them as like things or like monsters, and he considered them as people, even though some of them did not deserve to be considered as people. Because even though I agreed with Marcel in the beginning and what she did to get her lick back, I think she was doing a little bit too much. Eli was a damn fool. I don't like him, but it was very interesting, the things that happened and how they happened. Even though I do think he's a homicidal maniac, I do admire how smart he is. Like, he's a very intelligent man. Take in a situation, assess it, and come up with the steps to like handle that shit. And he be getting it done, okay? Eli, even though he's crazy, he gets that shit done. Him and Victor are super intelligent, and they read each other like the back of a book. I think Victor's a little bit smarter, but maybe that's just me being extremely biased because that's my man. You guys should read this duology. 5 stars. I can't wait for the third book to come out. It probably won't come out for another few years, but it was definitely, I love it. It's definitely up there with Monsters and Verity for me. I absolutely loved it. Oh my god, like every time I think about it, I'm just like, as you should. Like, I love this duology, soon to be trilogy, so much. It was so good, and I am so sad that I do not have the third book. And I think I talked about this on my TikTok, where I was discussing the fact that I have such an attachment to books, and once I enter a book, I get really attached to the characters, that when the book ends, I'm like, I start to cry. And I did cry a little bit because I was like, damn, it's over. And like, these characters, obviously I'm going to meet them again in another book, but right now I'm just stuck here. Like, I'm stuck here. And the good thing about me and books is that I remember a lot of the information. So even though I do have a book journal that I haven't updated in ages, I remember the premise and everything that happens in the book. Oftentimes I remember everything. I have a really good memory, and I'm very happy for that. As of now, I'm reading, and it will definitely be done by the end of July, because I have like 2 days, and the first book took me so little time to read. I'm definitely gonna have this done. It's Not Summer Without You by Jenny Han. It's the second book. In the summer I turned pretty serious, so we love that. I am gonna read this. It's gonna be done, so I'm putting it in my what I read in July as well. And it's just a continuation. It's getting good so far. As always, belly is a little selfish, but I'm only 46 pages in, so it's not that far in. Yes guys, I am so happy with the progress I've been making reading books. If you guys don't know, I've been wanting to write a book forever, and I actually started writing my first book. I'm nowhere near done. I am 29,000 words in, which isn't a lot. We love that for us. I'm starting, and that's all that matters. So be on the lookout for any updates regarding my book. But just reading gives me so much more inspiration to write my book, so it just makes me feel good. And so I'm actually going to be writing in a little while, now that I mention it. But I'm so happy about the books that I read. Just getting back into that groove of just reading an amount of books that is not one is amazing. Even if I just read 2 books this month, I would have still been happy. So I'm not gonna set a goal for next month. I hate setting goals when it comes to reading books because I feel like I never meet that goal. But estimated, if I read 4 books, I'll be happy. Okay, if I read at least 4 books, I'll be happy. If I read 6 books, I'll be ecstatic. I'll be even more happy. So yes guys, that is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys liked it. Please make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe, and click the little notification bell so you get notifications of when I upload, and you can see more of me and more of my content and more of my book content. And also, if you really want to see more of me, follow me on my TikTok. I have a book talk basically kind of thing. It's not really a book talk, but it's kind of turning into, that's kind of what it's turning into, because a lot of people are following me because I've uploaded book content. So that's kind of what it's turning out to be. I do upload some kind of little vloggy moments, but basically that's what it's turning out to be, a book talk. So if you guys want to see me more, go follow me there. Also on my Instagram, I post what I'm reading currently. Sometimes I post how I feel about it. Sometimes I post like a mid-week update, and you guys can see that as well on my Instagram. So all of that will be linked down in the description box below. Go follow me on that. Let me know how you feel about this video. Let me know if you like these kinds of videos more, like me telling you guys what I read at the end of the month instead of telling you guys what I want to read at the beginning of the month. Yeah guys, I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you guys so much. Peace out.